If you're thinking about moving to the Twin Cities and you look up best neighborhoods and best schools and best suburbs and that kind of thing, I'm gonna say without a doubt on basically every list that you come across or every video or every blog or whatever, Edina is gonna be in that list. What's it like to live in Edina? That's what this video is all about, so stick around. How's it going, y'all? My name is Jesse Lynch, and this YouTube channel is devoted to two things. The first of which is teaching people about the ins and outs of buying, selling, investing in real estate. And the second of which is showing off this incredible place that I live, the Twin Cities of Minnesota. So if either of those things appeal to you, please do us both a favor, subscribe to this channel, click the little bell to get notified. And while you're at it, leave a comment and follow me on Instagram at Jesse Lynch Realty. Right now, I'm in the parking lot of Van Valkenburg Park. Maybe it's Von Valkenburg. I'm really not sure. But the reason for that is because this is in Edina, Minnesota. And like I said at the beginning, this video is a virtual tour of Edina, Minnesota. Edina is one of the oldest and one of the most highly desired suburbs in the entire Twin Cities, which is why it is the first suburban virtual tour that I've done of the Twin Cities. And let me tell you, it is a doozy. It's a big place with a lot of stuff going for it. So I hope you enjoy. Stick around. All right, y'all. Right now, I'm on the roof of the parking garage of Pinstripes. And Pinstripes is like a pretty upscale bowling alley, restaurant, bocce ball. It's fancy, it's cool. I shot a wedding there once. One of my childhood best friends, Joe, got married here. It was a lot of fun. I shot the wedding, it was cool. So Edina, Minnesota is one of the earliest suburbs of the Twin Cities. And it has a population of around 50,000 people. And for sure, it's one of the most expensive and affluent suburbs in the entire state. In fact, it made a list of most affluent neighborhoods in the nation. Edina and Wayzata, two of the most affluent neighborhoods in the entire United States, both of which are in Minnesota. I told y'all that this video was gonna be a monster, and it is, and I literally have to cut down on it to make it less of a monster, because Edina has like something like 45 or more neighborhoods. I can't possibly discuss all of those things. So what I'm actually doing is breaking it down into 4 quadrants, basically northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest, just because, to be quite honest, that just seems more manageable. Okay, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that basically so far, I've focused entirely on the Twin Cities proper, Minneapolis and Saint Paul. And all of these neighborhood videos have been just strictly about neighborhoods within Minneapolis and St. Paul. So it does make sense to me that the first suburb would be Edina because it is one of the earliest suburbs in the Twin Cities. And so within this tour, I'm gonna start in the earliest part of Edina, which is the northeast quadrant of Edina. Again, there's probably, I don't know, 15 neighborhoods within the northeast quadrant. And for the sake of this video, I'm basically just gonna sum up northeast Edina as southwest Minneapolis continued. And if you haven't yet, go watch my Southwest Minneapolis virtual tour video because that will make a lot more sense. But keep watching this video first and then go watch. Okay, so Northeast Edina, what's it all about? It's the closest thing to being in Minneapolis as you can possibly be while still being in Edina. Northeast Edina is also home to 50th and France, which is one of the most trendy shopping and restaurant areas in probably all of Edina, if not the Twin Cities as a whole. It's home to the Edina Theater, which is one of the oldest movie theaters in the Twin Cities, and an interesting combination of things. Northeast Edina has the most old houses, as in like built prior to 1930 out of all of Edina, but it also has more $1 million plus properties, at least currently for sale, than any of the other areas in Edina. Maybe it's just because it's more densely populated, I don't know, but I did find that pretty interesting. Okay, and then Southeast Edina, I'm standing in right now. Right down here is Centennial Lakes. It's like a man-made lake around a bunch of commercial buildings, and it's a really great place to walk and bring your family, and you can go out to a restaurant. Cucumbers, probably my favorite salad bar ever in the world, maybe because it's only a salad bar, I don't know. And really what you're gonna get in Southeast Edina, it's almost entirely like commercial, industrial, and high rises with maybe some townhouses, apartments, and that kind of thing baked in there. But there's not much in the way of single family houses and that kind of thing here. Wait. Stop. I didn't do this and I always do this. So the boundaries of Edina. To the north is about 42nd Street. To the east is France for much of it, and then Xerxes for the rest of it. To the south is basically 494, and to the west is Highway 169. For the sake of this video, these quadrants that I'm talking about, northeast Edina is north of Highway 62 and east of Highway 100. Southeast Edina is south of 62 and east of Highway 100. Southwest Edina is west of Highway 100, but south of Highway 62, and northwest is north of Highway 62, but west of Highway 100. So remember, like I said, the oldest homes are in northeast. Then the next oldest homes, like specifically, you will see a lot of ranch styles or ramblers as you begin to go south into southeast. And then everything kind of 50s and newer, and then both southwest and northwest didn't really begin to be developed until kind of post-World War II, that kind of thing. Southwest is home to the Bramer Golf Course in Bramer Park. I think I'm saying that right. I said Bryn Mawr for like years, so don't at me. And then over here we have Northwest Edina, which is home to Interlochen Country Club. And also, fun fact, more homes currently listed at $2 million or higher in Northwest Edina. Okay, that was a lot. Let's take a look around, shall we? Thanks. All right, y'all, right now I'm at 50th and France, which is in that northeastern quadrant that I talked about. And so you might ask what? Okay, well, you probably know the first thing I'm gonna say. Repeat after me, schools, right? Yeah, they have a lot of the best schools in the city, is not only in as far as education, but sports as well. I actually had a cousin who grew up playing hockey in Edina. He went on to play semi-pro hockey. A pretty top-notch place to grow up playing sports and that kind of thing. So what else does it have going for it? Location, right? Location. Edina is probably one of the most conveniently located suburbs in the entire Twin Cities. A short drive to downtown Minneapolis, which if you've watched my other things, you know that there are many, many Fortune 500 companies in the downtown Minneapolis area. Another thing of note is that, like back there at 50th and France, that's like the downtown area of Edina. And so that is to say that Edina has a bit of a small city feel while also being contiguous to the biggest city in the state. And Edina, unlike Southwest Minneapolis, has all of the big box conveniences that Southwest Minneapolis and Columbus, Minneapolis lack. And much of Edina is extremely walkable, especially along France. And the eastern edge of Edina is very walkable, very easy to get around, and basically all the way up and down France Avenue is commercial spaces, and that varies from big box stores, larger corporate stores, and some independent stores, especially closer into the cities at the likes of 50th and France, and even 50th and Xerxes. There's some very cool shops. Okay, so I walked to this neighborhood from 50th and France. For sure, it's one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Edina, and thusly in the state of Minnesota. And as you can see, interesting thing, no sidewalks. Why no sidewalks? I guess my assumption is to keep riffraff like me out of here. But hey, here I am walking down the middle of the street. There's no cars, and it's 6, right? It's 6 p.m. You'd think there'd be a bunch of traffic, and there's not. This is a beautiful neighborhood, and which brings me to another one of the pros. I would say that Edina has the largest assortment of beautiful houses in the entire state of Minnesota, bar none. So yeah, I was gonna do a different clip entirely for the cons of Edina, but the truth is there are very, very few, right? There's a reason it's the most expensive suburb in the entire state, because it's a great place to live, right? It's so sought after. So if I'm digging for negatives, number one, expensive, right? That's probably pretty obvious, but yeah, it's extremely expensive. And so if you're limited on budget, Edina, probably not the place for it. If I had to find a con in the southeast Edina part, I would say that it's a little too corporate-y, a little too business district. So as far as buying a house down there, which there aren't that many single family houses, maybe that's a little too lively, a little too happening, and a little too corporate. Okay, another negative is that the southernmost boundary is 494. And 494, I would say, is probably the most widely hated highway in the Twin Cities. Maybe I'm biased, I don't know, but for sure it's one of the busiest highways, and I would say probably the most frequently congested highway with or without construction. Okay, and this last thing, I'm not even sure if I want to say this or not, but very important to me that I be honest to y'all watching this, and maybe this is obvious, and maybe this is a con to you, maybe it's not, but Edina is a little bit exclusive, okay? It's a little bit high society, and either that's really what you're after, or it's not, right? I think that is very much a matter of one's taste. And look, I mean, if you want the best schools, the most beautiful houses, a super convenient neighborhood, then maybe you're gonna get some of that, right? If you watch another one of my videos, then you may have heard me say this in another video. And I don't really say it to talk shit about Edina. I think Edina is an amazing place, and there's a reason that it costs so much. But in the Mighty Ducks, there's a rich kid, his last name is Banks, and the kids from the city, we call him a cake eater. And by cake eater, they're referencing the bourgeoisie, like a new cake, and that whole thing. All right, this is a really beautiful neighborhood. So let's take a little bit of a drive, shall we? Okay, right now I'm standing in front of Edina High School. Edina High School has long since been considered one of the best schools in the Twin Cities. According to niche.org, it is rated 3rd overall for all high schools in the Twin Cities, but it is rated number 1 in all of Minnesota for college prep high schools, and it is rated number 8 in all of Minnesota for STEM courses. Right now I'm gonna put a screenshot of the maps on niche.org for all of the schools in Edina. They're all at least A- rated schools for niche.org from elementary on up, but I will note that if you look at greatschools.org, it does fall short in certain things like equity and diversity among students and amount of low-income students and that kind of thing. And I hope I did Edina justice. Truly, Edina is one of the most desirable areas in all of Minnesota, and I hope that this video helped get that across at all. And now, if you're watching this and you're thinking about moving to the Twin Cities, I implore you to do anything you can to get a hold of me, and I promise you that myself and my team and everybody around me will take the absolute best care of you. And I hope that by the end of it, you feel like an absolute expert on all things living in the Twin Cities. And know that up until then, up until it's the real deal and you're buying, I'm available anytime you need, and you can get a hold of me any way you want. Call, text, email, leave me a message on my website, DM me on Instagram, DM me on Facebook, leave me a comment on YouTube, which, by the way, leave me a comment on YouTube. I love that, and I promise it really does help. Not just my channel, but other people who are considering a move to the Twin Cities. All right, one more time before I go, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get notified. Thank you so much for watching. I love y'all. Bye-bye.